Okay, so what do we do about Jermain Taylor? It's it's fairly obvious at this point that this guy really doesn't deserve to be in the ring with these guys. I mean, it takes nothing away from Arthur Abraham from doing what he's doing. He was beating him in the rounds. He didn't need the knockout, but he scored the knockout because in the 12th round, Arthur Abraham didn't have to throw a punch to win the fight. But he still fought, and he showed that it only took one punch from him. One punch to drop a guy. He gave him a fucking concussion. He gave Jermain Taylor a motherfucking concussion. All right, anybody who gets a concussion is going to drop, just like that. But that's not giving anything to Jermain Taylor for taking that or lasting to the 12th round. He lasted to the 12th with Froch too, and he went 12 rounds with Kelly Pavlik and still lost the decision. The question you have to ask yourself now is: do you even want to tune in to watch upcoming Taylor fights? Does anybody now even remotely believe he can shake this off and come back and win against Andre Ward and Mikkel Kessler? Ain't no way in hell, dude. He's going against a couple guys coming up that are just plain out boxing, that are actually better boxers than Arthur Abraham, though. Arthur Abraham surprised me. I didn't think he was that smart, but he's a really smart guy, and that sort of winky right trademarked earmuff tactic works well with him. Arthur Abraham is the reason he's the king. Germany's got a good fighter. I think I got Arthur Abraham's definitely in my top 3 now. But the question is what do we do about Taylor? We can't just sit here and act like Taylor really has a shot anymore. You can be a fan of Taylor's all you want, and you can like some of the earlier stuff he's done in his career, but right now, if he still wants to box, he needs to go on a 2-year hiatus. Get away from it for a while. He said he was hungry and he said he was in shape, and he did look better, but he's not the same guy. He looked better. He was throwing some punches, but he still faded, and now I really don't think it is physical. I don't think it's a physical problem. He's just not that kind of champ. We all knew this was, even people who picked Taylor to win the fight knew that there was a strong chance that come the later rounds he was going to lose, and then he did. He loosened his guard up, and Abraham shot a smoking hand right through the gloves. Out cold, one punch. How do you recover from your last 5 fights ending with 4 defeats and 3 knockouts? 4 of those defeats were knockouts, or 3 of those 4 were knockouts. I'd like to see him out of the tournament, but then you have problems like Abraham already has 3 points up. He's already got a solid lead. Mikkel Kessler or Andre Ward now needs a knockout just to tie him for this little first round of events, but there are 3 fights. Still, but also on the other hand, you have Kessler and Ward who are almost guaranteed their 2 points for beating Taylor, and probably 3 apiece, because you can knock Taylor out. And I don't even know if Ward's that strong, but I think if Ward just wears him out, he can still knock him out. Mikkel Kessler can definitely knock him out and outbox him. So can Andre Ward. Andre Ward can outbox him too. So it's at least a guaranteed 2 points for 2 more fighters coming up. Froch and Durrell don't have that advantage, so that kind of takes away from them. But after last night's fight, I have hope for Durrell, and I think he can, if he changes some things, changes his tactics up a little bit. He's an amazing boxer. I think he can do some things in this tournament. But Froch didn't impress me either because, look, I already made a video on this, and whether you agree or disagree, yeah, it was last night. I was drinking a little bit, and I was a little bit heated. Maybe it was because, you know, it was one of those rare times where I actually sat down with a pen and paper and tried to do the rounds. And I broke that down in the video, whether you like it or not. I think Darrell won, but I'll do a whole nother video on this. There's a very, you know, I have to concede some things now. Being the next day, having time to look it over again. I watched the fight again. Still came up with the same score, but I have a better understanding, let's put it that way. As far as Taylor, switching him out, if you have to pick an American, I guess it's Green. But why do we have to pick an American? We have two other Americans in there, and we're only one country. You know, there's one Dane, there's one Englishman, and there's one Armenian. You know, there doesn't have to be three Americans in there, especially when one absolutely does not deserve to be in there. But what do you do now? Do you take away Abraham's win? And that's not fair. But do you give two other guys guaranteed wins as well? You know, that's not fair either. So there's a strong chance this whole tournament may fall apart now. You know, it's got to be running through at least some of your minds. Where do we go from here? Where are they going to go from here? Are they just going to keep Taylor in because it's already locked in? It's going to put a lot of question marks come the semifinals. But nobody really expected Taylor to make it there. Some people had hope for him, and maybe that was why Taylor was in this whole tournament to begin with. He was the hope. Andre Ward and Andre Darrell are both untested and are prospects, which makes them have hope too. But Jermain Taylor has proven he can beat big names, and he's proven he could do 12 rounds. When he fought Bernard Hopkins, he could do 12. He was a better fighter. Something went wrong after that. I don't know what it is. I don't even think it was a Pavlik knockout because of the bullshit fights he was taking. He should have lost to Winky Wright. Something happened after that second Bernard Hopkins win that this guy wasn't there no more. All the potential he had and all the hopes that we had for him started to get dashed, little by little, and then the Pavlik thing threw it over the top. But you can't replace them, but you can't keep them in there. So what's the best solution? I think if you're going to piss somebody off, you try and piss Abraham off, because he might be the most likely to accept it. He seems fully willing and ready and poised to make a statement in this tournament. Abraham, I'm going to predict, is going to be in the final fight with Kessler. And that's going to be a tough fight, and I'll have to break it down when the time comes. But right now, after watching last night's, two kickoff fights, I think Abraham is one of the men to beat now. But that doesn't take away the fact that Taylor really, after 5 rounds, I think it just showed progressively going through the rounds, more and more and more, that Taylor just wasn't, he didn't deserve to be in the ring with Abraham, and he's not going to deserve to be in the ring with a guy like Kessler or a good prospect like Ward or Darrell, or even Froch again after this, because everybody's going to know what they can do to this guy. He's not hiding anything. There's no more surprises in Jermain Taylor. He doesn't want to throw his right hand. He doesn't want to throw his money punch. He can't pull the trigger. He has to go. He has to get out of this tournament. Somehow, some way. When you put, I don't know how to pronounce the name, Bute, you put him in? I think so. Over Alan Green, I think so. And then maybe make it a 4-month longer wait in the fight to give Abraham enough time to make up another fight. And then, give him the best points of both fights. If he gets a knockout, then he keeps his 3. If he gets a 2, he still keeps his 3. As long as he wins.